What's up to all my wildlings out there on the Wildernet? It is Tuesday, July 25th. This is episode 31, and you're listening to the Sean vs. Wild podcast. I'm your host, as always, the man, the myth, the Sean Thriller Smith. And joining me today in the Smithsonian, well, actually, the Smithsonian is transforming into the Batcave because I've got Foxbat making their comeback, returning to the Sean vs. Wild podcast. And guys, you probably remember Clay Nevels from Foxbat from episode 1, or Joe Brock from Foxbat from episode 2, or every shout out I give, pre-episode for Boop and Dials. If you haven't checked out episodes 1 and 2, you're going to want to do that. I don't know why you haven't done it already, guys. It's not just a one and done thing. These things aren't just live and then it's over. It's on demand. It's like Netflix, but like way cheaper because it's free. And you can watch it at your own convenience. You don't have to worry about spoilers on Facebook like, Game of Thrones or something like that. So check it out. Check out episodes 1 and 2 to get prepared for today's episode. Today's episode, fantastic. 3 buddies sitting down over a few drinks and some Little Caesars pizza. Yeah. I spring for only the most expensive pizza here, guys, on the Sean vs. Wild podcast. But no, we sit down and have a great conversation. We're talking movies, we're talking music, we're talking pop culture, and most importantly, we're talking Foxbat's brand new song, so new, so hot off the press, it doesn't even have a title yet. So if you can think of an awesome title for it, you better hit them up on social media, or hit me up on social media. I'll pass it along, guys. And but the song will melt your face. So it's Tuesday. You probably need to pick me up. You got through Monday. It was okay. But Tuesday, you want to make it better. All I can say is crank your dial up to 45 and give this song a listen. Also, in other news, I have some brand new Sean vs. Wild merchandise. I know I mentioned it last week, but it's been selling like hotcakes or pancakes or breakfast. It's been selling like breakfast, guys, which means it's selling pretty well. So if you are interested in getting your hands on stuff before it's out, feel free to give me a message at Sean vs. Wild at gmail.com or on Facebook, what have you. If you're local, just hit me up and we'll work out to where you don't have to pay any shipping. So yeah, I do what I can, guys. Some people would call me a hero. I don't know. And I got to say, all my stuff, all my merchandise was printed through audiofileinc.com. I talk about them every single week. And I get a lot of positive feedback on the quality. People like the shirts. People like things about it. So if you are interested in having your own stuff printed and having compliments paid to you, then you need to check out audiofileinc.com. You want to talk to Shane. You want to get your shirts done, your T-shirts done, your tank tops done, your, your button-down flannels or your underpants, whatever you want to do. Shane will print it for you and make it happen. Also does custom embroidery if you got those dad hats you want to have. It's summertime, man. You got to keep the sun out of your eyes, bro. I don't blame you. So definitely check out audiofileinc.com. Talk to Shane. That's AUDIOPHILEINK.com. Audiofileinc.com. They're going to take care of all your screen printing needs. Going to give you the best price in town, no matter what town you live in, because they do ship to all 50 states. And also, speaking of that, all 50 states and every country on this planet, I want to say, if you like what you've heard, please like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, tell a friend. I've been getting a lot of new listeners and a lot of new page likes lately. And if you're a first-time listener or repeat listener, new listener, old listener, whatever, if you are listening to this, I really appreciate it. I thank you so much. It's the reason why I do this. I couldn't do this if I just had an audience of nobody, I think. At least if I guess I could, but it just wouldn't be as fun, because nobody would care. Nobody would listen. Anyway, going off on a tangent, thank you so much for tuning in. That is the main thing. And thank you very much for helping me build this brand. If you want to continue to help, the easiest thing to do is literally like, share, subscribe, or tell a friend. Give a 5-star rating on iTunes. Like the YouTube channel, whatever, comment. These sorts of things, they're free. They gain traction. They gain visibility. Helps me get more listeners and helps build the brand. If you want to contribute monetarily to help the show, because honestly, it's not cheap. You got to pay Facebook for every single post that you do if you want people to see it. You have to pay for your hosting. You have to pay for all that sort of thing. You can give monetarily if you want. I always have merchandise and stuff because I don't want people to just give me nothing for nothing or nothing for the show. Get a T-shirt while you're at it. So hit me up, and for $10 is what I'm selling the T-shirts for. Koozies, if you have a few bucks, I'll give you a koozie, something like that. Not a big deal. I would appreciate it that way. But really, the best way is to just word of mouth. Tell somebody, tell a friend, get somebody to like it that hasn't liked it already. Because that's what I'm trying to do here. Build my listenership one at a time. And yeah, guys, so I appreciate you for that. And hopefully I'm going to be seeing everybody this weekend at Dead Fest, days 1 and 2. And also very popular guest on the show, K-Day, who resides in New York. She is out on tour, and she'll be playing at Haymarket on Saturday night also. So you can spend all day at Dead Fest, check out K-Day's show Saturday night, and then check out round 2 of Dead Fest this weekend. It's going to be a huge weekend for music. So the Louisville, Kentucky area, you're in for a treat this week. So don't sleep on that. And really, that's it for me, guys. Again, thanks for Joe Brock for booping the dials this week. Also, thanks for him for being on the show. Thanks, Clay, as well. Thank you to Foxbat, and thank you to the listener. I've thanked everyone. I've thanked everyone I know, guys. So there's only one thing left to do, and that is, let's get wild. I'm so glad we found Haggard the movie on YouTube right now.
Check who uploaded this. I guarantee it's Cliffy Madden.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it really is on here. Honestly, it's like one of those things.
He did upload it, though. I think that really is the one we're watching.
So this is a Cliffy Madden exclusive. We better not talk about it per se, because I don't want the officials. I don't want the appropriate authorities to just start taking it down.
Right.
I do have it on DVD if we ever need a backup.
Okay.
Just in case one breaks down.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a hot minute. And look at the look at the early 2000s digital recording on it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Don't you love it when you watch a music video from like 1999 to like 2004? And I don't know if you ever do that on YouTube, like just go back and watch some music videos from like bands you were into, and the quality looks like worse than an 80s or 90s video.
Well, so, okay. The quality, yes. But sometimes, like, especially like towards the late 90s, they kind of had plot points down versus like original music videos, like especially the 70s, like they just had no idea what they were. It was a medium that they had no idea what they were doing with.
Yeah.
So it was like they're like, okay, like example, Journey's Separate Ways.
Yeah.
Like you watch that video and the whole time they're like, all right, we're gonna have the band standing in a line like the Mighty Ducks V, and then like we're gonna have them like holding up their fists, and then we're gonna be having them all playing instruments, but then we're gonna change instruments, and then one guy's gonna play the keyboard on the wall, and then there's this random girl just walking around. Nobody knows what she's doing. She's ignoring everybody, like, and all drummers playing on pots and pans and barrels.
Yeah.
Like it's like there was no cohesion to it, and at the very end they're like, oh, it's a dream sequence, and I'm like.
It was all a dream.
That was the best you could do. Like,
It's the Bob Newhart effect.
That video probably cost him $4 million. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
it was probably shot on 35 millimeter high def.
Yeah.
And the best that you can give me
Yeah.
is, people playing on pots and pans, or just a big thing with the 80s videos is sometimes you'll just see drummers with drumsticks. Like they don't even have a drum set in front of them.
Yeah, hold your sticks.
Yeah, dude, just hold your sticks and just like act like you're playing, bro. You're gonna murder it. People are gonna go crazy about this thing called the music video.
I feel like they could have done the same thing with guitar. Like, should have made it even. Like, all right, guitar players, hold your picks.
Picks only, and then just air guitar, but with the picks.
Singers, hold your microphone cable, not the actual microphone.
No wonder why Thriller was such a huge deal, because it was the first time anybody was probably like, why don't we invest a little thought into maybe doing a music video that's cohesive?
All right,
I don't think I've seen any of these music videos you guys are talking.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
I've seen Thriller.
You'll know the answer. When did Thriller come out?
1983 is when the album came out, so I'm not sure when the single released.
So some of the videos I have in my head too are just like, think of like any old David Bowie or the Rolling Stones video where it's just them playing in a room,
just dancing in the street.
Dancing in the dude on the most boring. Like it's like before cameras could move, so they had to stay in one spot. So they're like, all right, we're gonna do. We have 4 angles, and that's all you get. Like, and even then, they're like, we had to really push for that 4th angle.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Like,
and we better get possibly two of the whitest men on the planet. Can you just dance for maybe 3 or 4 minutes? Let's see what that's like.
Yeah, let's see if that looks good.
Yeah, and the thing is it besides the nostalgia value and the 80s cheese, wasn't much Wasn't much else going on in that video.
That Sell Me a Coat video is pretty good, though.
Sell me a coat. By the way, Joe, did you like it how the other morning I literally just...
I didn't know if I dreamt that or if that actually happened. I know what you're talking
So
about.
true story, Joe and I put back a few beers on a Friday night, and Saturday morning I was woke up from the couch after watching a lot of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, wow.
And then I fell asleep and woke up, and I'm the only one awake in the house, so I just put on Sell Me a Coat by David Bowie and just put my phone right up to Joe's door.
I knew I heard that. I didn't know. Like I said, I wasn't really sure what was going on at the time.
Man, if you haven't, have you ever heard "Sell Me a Coat" by
I
David
have
Bowie?
no idea what song you're talking
Man.
about.
Oh, dude.
That's what this podcast should just be centered around. This is the
You're
"Sell Me a Coat"
missing
episode
out.
of the Sean versus Wild podcast. I would highly suggest checking it out because you know how David Bowie's known for being cool and like
Bizarre.
experimental.
Yeah.
This is neither. This
Yeah.
is neither of those. This is just about a man that wants a coat with
Yeah.
buttons of silver.
And little patch pockets.
Maybe a coat that's red or gold, and he wants you to sell it to him. He doesn't want you to give it to him.
No, you gotta
Sell
buy it.
Yeah,
This is my
He
thing.
has to
fair
buy it.
trade.
I feel like some of those brilliant artists still had songs where you had to really, like it's no disrespect to any of these artists at all, but if like you really dissected what they were doing, like you were just really like I feel like any major, like Michael Jackson, Prince, David Bowie, like they had songs where you're just like you're prolific in almost everything that you do, and they can't all be winners by all means, but
right.
like.
This isn't even close.
Yeah, like,
No.
like,
This
you
isn't
didn't-
even
you
the
didn't
same
hit your
sport.
mark. Yeah, like, and it's like part of it. There's this weird beauty that where I'm hoping that in their heads they're like, oh, this is my D work, but I want to see if people will still buy it. Like, but,
Well, we got to put out that album.
Yeah.
It needs 11 songs on it, guys. This is it. This is lucky number 11. That's how I feel about this podcast. By the way, guys, if you're tuning in, this isn't the Sell Me a Coat podcast. This is the Sean versus Wild podcast. And I'm in the Smithsonian today with Clay Nevels and Joe Brock of Foxbat making their glorious return to the podcast. Clay was guest on episode 1. So 30 episodes ago.
Ew.
Joe, episode 2, 29 episodes ago. Mm-hmm. And look how far we've come.
We've come a long way. Are we your first repeating guests?
Yes,
on
the
show?
first repeating guest.
we may not be as popular as some of the other guests, but we're
Probably
here
not.
often. So it works out.
But we're here often, and that means something.
It does.
But you guys are, and I've said this before, my favorite band, so I will have you guys on here.
Thank you.
My favorite Louisville, Southern Indiana musical group. So I'll have you on here anytime that I like. Just because, gosh darn it, I like you guys.
And we live close by, so it works
Yeah,
out.
Clay
Yes.
lives like 100 yards away.
Clay lives 100 yards away, and Clay, I need to mention this on the podcast.
Here we go.
You know what I'm going to say. So
I've heard a little bit about this, and I'm excited to hear more because I don't really know the full story.
yeah, let me hit you with the deets, listeners. So in the mornings, Clay and I we live roughly a block and a half away, one block up, or half a block up, one block over.
Yeah.
So we're not very far from each other. In the mornings, I like to wake up early, put on a podcast, and just walk around the neighborhood, get a little exercise in. I got my Fitbit. I want to get my 10,000 steps in before I even, get ready for the day. So I'm walking through the neighborhood, and I'm walking in front of Clay's house, and I'm like, oh, hey, Clay's house. And I'm looking down, and lo and behold, right in Clay's front yard is a pair of ladies' American flag themed underpants.
See, when you told me American flag themed, it made me laugh because honestly, I didn't even pay that much attention to them. Like the fact.
Well,
that
see,
you
I
got
saw
the
them. I must have
details,
seen them
dude.
on day one because they were sprawled out in like a mound of freshly cut grass, and they were just sprawled out there.
There's a reason for that because I've kicked them because they were originally on the sidewalk.
I kicked them literally to the curb.
Literally, well, they were on the sidewalk, and I've literally been kicking the same pair of underwear back and forth because in my head I'm like, this person is walking around without no dukes on, man. They gotta like.
He's gonna come back.
They're
looking
gonna
for
come
these.
back, yeah. Whomever they belong to, they're gonna come back and pick them up and collect them one day. So I've been leaving them there.
Well, and you know what's funny is like, obviously any passerby is, unless they're like a total creep or whatever, they're not going to be picking it up and taking them unless
Yeah.
they're the rightful owner.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking like, basically I look down and I see that and I'm thinking, well, maybe something fell out whenever, like somebody was bringing in laundry or something like that. Whatever. Not going to make much mention of it. I'm just going to hop over them and keep on walking. And I see them every day for about 10 days. And then the other day I walk by, and not only is there a pair of American flag underwear right there where in its normal spot, but it is joined by a pair of boxer briefs, one white crew sock, and one black tube sock. So I'm just like, what in the hell is going on in front of your home?
I actually have the answer to it. There's a vortex. You know, whenever you put your laundry in and you get it out of the dryer and you're always missing an item and there's no logical.
That's where they go.
It drops there. It's like being John Malkovich, but
Dude.
instead it dropping on the freeway, like the socks go into his head and then drop the socks onto the
See, this is nuts because that is just as good of a guess as any, really.
Yeah.
That someone somewhere in this world did laundry, put their clothes in the dryer, and it teleported,
So
stargated, if you will, into your front yard.
James Spader showed up with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And typed in they found the eighth code. And
Yeah.
so can
That's
we
what
talk about
happened.
the ridiculous of that movie? That they had seven of them, right? And there was maybe 20 symbols total.
Yeah.
So all they needed to do was figure out the eighth one. When you only have 20 options, you couldn't just go and you already knew all the other ones. Was it that big of a deal to read? It's like if you knew a phone number up until the last digit.
Yeah, there's
it's like,
only so many.
Yeah, there's only so. It's like if you're that desperate to get to another dimension, do you think you'd be like, guys, I don't know what to do?
You know what? I'm thinking about maybe the process of elimination here, bro. I think I'm going to use that.
Somebody keeps marking off the ones that we've already done, so we keep starting all over again.
They just needed an excuse to keep showing Kurt Russell with a cool short haircut.
Yeah, cool short haircut and wearing a vest. So
That's the thing. Kurt Russell, best hair in the business for about 15 years.
honestly,
And
still dripping, man.
still to this day.
Best mustache in the business right now.
That's true. Kurt Russell, man, what a great 80s. Do you even know who I'm talking about, Joe?
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
I
You
think
know
I know who that is.
Okay.
You're looking at me like, do you even know who
I have
that
a feeling
is?
that you don't know
I
who
was
that is.
really hoping he was going to be like, was that like Captain Kurt Russell, from Star Trek?
Yeah,
what
dude.
Is that like Captain Crunch, man? I love his cereal, bro.
Oh, my God.
There is a follow up to the underwear story though. I finally did clean it up. AKA, I pulled out the junk mail that I got in my mailbox yesterday or the day before and grabbed it with my junk mail and put it in the neighbor's trash can because I'm pretty sure it's all has come from my terrible neighbor that's on the one side of my house that just literally puts their trash cans out for the whole week, and so it all blows out of the trash can into my yard.
Dude, it has to be because that neighbor's trash can, it is one trash can for the most part, but it is always overflowing. And it always just looks like they're having a yard sale.
Yeah.
But it's on the curb in front of a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, they do it because they hope people just pick it up, which sometimes people pick up the stuff, sometimes don't. The good news is I'm pretty sure they're moving out, so hopefully that house is opening up. So if we want to start raffling off for Sean versus Wild, that live next to Clay from Foxbat and Light Treasons, that'd be
I'm
great.
just going to move right in. I'm going to put the studio there.
Deal.
That'll be
So-
my studio, and then I'll live here at the Smithsonian.
That's a
That'd be
great
tight.
idea.
Smithsonian 2 is what I'll call it. Pretty original, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I like to think you just kind of did like Beverly Hills Ninja, where you had that, dustbin on a stick, and you just broomed it in there and threw it away. Like a Beverly Hills Ninja when he always gets his shoes thrown away when he takes them off before he goes to the hotel.
Yeah.
Is that ringing a bell to you, Joe?
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Is that Christopher Fartley, man? I don't know, man.
Dude.
Who was in that movie?
Man, but you know what? You're
Fartley.
right. I don't know if it's this neighborhood or what, but the other night I'm coming in on Wednesday, which, our garbage pickup is Thursday morning, or at least it is here. It's Thursday morning. And a lady is walking by and she's like, "Hey, I didn't scare you, did you?" And I'm just like, yeah. As a matter of fact, you did.
Did you see me jump? Because I did.
Because I'm literally pulling in at around 11:30 p.m. on a Wednesday night to my home, not expecting to see anyone. And she's like, "Yeah, I like to go through and see what people put out here." And I was like, "Oh shit! Well, don't look at my trash because it's mostly bathroom
Empty
trash,
and
food,
whiskey
stuff,
bottles.
and exactly, and empty beer cans and what have you." She's like, "Yeah, man, person across the street." They threw away a perfectly good flower pot. Now, granted, it had a hole in the bottom, but I could tape that up and use it. And I'm just like, Yeah,
That's
man.
not perfectly good.
Yeah, that sounds like perfectly broken. So
They threw away a perfectly good boat. Had a hole in it. But I could
had a hole in it, man. Covered in rust, but man, it's a good one.
Tape it right up, man.
Topic of neighborhood crazies. I literally got hustled by a 9-year-old kid in your yard as I walked up today.
That does not surprise me. I need to know the deets on
I'm
that,
always
though.
getting hustled by some young ones.
Yeah.
I guess
So-
like, maybe because I look like I'm a teenager or something. They're always giving me a hard time.
They're
like,
like,
"Hey,
hey,
man,
you're all
Can't even
right.
go to the mall, man.
Yeah, they look at you like, yo, let me
Getting
bum a
heckled.
ciggy.
Yeah,
Look
like,
at you.
dude,
Look at this youth.
No.
So no, I walked up and there's this kid standing next to his bike and he's like flipping a like glass big red soda bottle. And I was just like walking by and he says something to me and I'm deaf, so I don't hear anybody. And I was like, huh? And he's like, you want to see my trick? And I was like, yeah, okay, let's see your trick. And he's like, all right, so if I drop this bottle at any point, you get to keep your money. And I was like, oh, hold on.
No.
Back up. First of all, I'm like checking for a wallet. Like, okay, I still got my wallet. Number 2, I don't got any money, dude. Sorry. And he's like, and then he gave me like a oh well shrug, like I was missing out. Like
Yeah.
I was the one.
Well,
like,
you're the one that's
should've
not
went
going to
the
see this
bank
trick.
And you
well,
withdrawn
so then he was just like, as I like go to knock on your door, he yells at me and he's like, "Is it cool if I keep performing out here?" And I was like, "Dude, this ain't my yard, man. You do whatever you want, brother."
He's probably still out there right
Yeah,
now.
hopefully he's still performing tricks with fireworks, but
I certainly hope that bottle doesn't just get broken and I have
It's
to
got-
mow over it.
It's-
I'm just going to go to the hospital. Like, what happened, dude? I took some shrapnel when I was mowing.
Yeah.
Big red glass bottle. And for those of you not in the Louisville area, Big Red is a soda, red.
that's bold
in
enough
nature.
to claim smoother than bourbon on their billboards right now. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, dude, they're getting real Kentucky with their billboards. I saw something that was like
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
something in bluegrass. or-
Faster than a horse.
It's smoother than bourbon.
Yeah, I would agree. Yes. You know what else is smoother than bourbon? Water. You know, Diet Pepsi, also smoother than bourbon.
Yeah.
Just one of those things. But yeah, so guys, as we're shooting the breeze here, watching Haggard, watching people duct tape the shit lugs everywhere.
Such a
Fucking
nature boy. Hellboy.
Yes. While we're watching this, let's get back to the matter at hand. So, Foxbat, you guys have some things coming up the old pipeline.
yeah. Joe, you start.
You guys are ramming stuff up the pipeline here.
Laying down some pipe. Yeah.
We've been laying a lot of pipe
We
recently.
have done a lot of pipe laying recently. What do you want to know?
Well, what's been going? Okay, so what do you guys have going on here in the immediate future?
Well,
What brings you here today?
we're gonna debut a hot new track.
You're gonna debut a hot new track.
I am.
My feet bring me here today.
I walked.
Car handled real good. I'm just here for the I'm here for the free Little Caesars and the PBR.
Yeah, that's really why we're here.
So
We are gonna debut a new track.
Yeah, we got a new track. We're getting ready to debut. We're all pumped on. We got.
Don't
3
ask us what it's called.
Yeah, we don't have a title for it yet.
No.
We want to say it's for a really secretive reason, but it's because we haven't come up with a title with it yet. So.
And that's just, yeah.
Well, there's definitely if Sean can come up with a cool title, by
It's
the
just
end of the
I like to
podcast.
think it's just a symbol. It's unpronounceable, like Prince's.
I'm so dumb. I thought you meant like a crash symbol. And I
Yeah,
was
dude,
just
it's like a big-
like a Wuhan. Or
It's like a
what?
big ass Wuhan. Dude, I got a Wuhan pasty hybrid, bro. It's
Dude.
just like that.
Satan's Tooth custom kit.
I got a Satan's Tooth custom drum kit.
Wuhan.
Dr. Willie Wuhan
As far as the eye can see.
hand hammered this thing in Canada.
Do we know if hand hammering is a real thing, or if they just put that as a buzzword?
You know,
They say it's a real thing, but I'm sure it's probably just all. Unless they like Zildjian and Sabian hand hammered their higher level stuff. I'm gonna say it's
they probably literally
machine
just
pressed.
hit it with a hammer one time.
Yeah,
Hey, man, had hammer
It's
shit.
hand
Dang, never
hammering.
mind.
they probably have to hit the machine that actually makes that those
With a
lathe marks
hammer.
with a hammer just to get
ball
it
peen.
just to get it to work.
Ted shows up. We didn't use the mallet, using an actual claw hammer, and ruined everything. So
Ruined it all. So what do you guys been? So you guys are recording. Well, where are you recording? What's the inside scoop?
Mr. Haynes.
Mr. Haynes, dude.
Mr. Jordan.
Jordan Hines.
That name
dude.
just keeps coming up over and over on this podcast.
Yeah,
Gotta love him.
as it should, dude. You just like
Ripping and roaring.
best stuff. Ultimately, it's like there's a lot of great producers in town, and not gonna dog on any of them because they all do their own thing. But for us, like Haynes just he does exactly what we need him to do. He contributes exactly what we need from him, and he gets like the tones and the results that like we want. So I can't imagine currently going to anybody else.
Really, for any reason. If we had our choice to go somewhere, we'd probably just still go to Jordan.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to leave.
Well,
so
okay, no, well,
because the
convenient.
price is right and the production's there too.
Actually,
it's-
dude, well,
yeah,
here we go.
right
But
up the road.
here's an example that I already told Jordan about this. So we actually hit up just for shits and giggles. We hit up Machine, the producer, just to see. And one was just basically like, I sent him a message like, hey, dude, Soundtrack or Head Rush was greatest sounding record, man. Just loved your stuff. Here's some of our stuff. Be interested to work with you. And like he shot us back prices, and it was super cool because he didn't have to. He
didn't have to respond to the email at all.
Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, like the price he came back with, and on top of that, like he wouldn't have been working out with us on the record. It would have been him mixing and another engineer. Like we would have had to gone to Austin, and we were just like, yeah, it's a lot of money. Or we could just go to our dude Jordan, who was gonna kill it, and we know how good it's gonna sound, and we're versus just recording with technically a no-name person that we've never heard of before,
Right.
and spending ridiculous amounts of money on that. I'm just like, I'm all for paying for an experience, but ultimately I'm like, if I'm not recording with the guy that like I want to record with, like I'm like, that's not worth it to me.
Yeah, I'm already selling blood just to make
Exactly.
Like we're barely paying Jordan. So
So yeah, having several dozens of thousands of dollars might not be in the the old
So
budget.
It'd be cool to do that eventually, but ultimately it's just like it's hard for me to justify going anywhere else when you get such a fantastic product. It's like it'd be different if we're like, oh, we have to settle for this, but we don't. It's like
Right. Yeah.
he's number one choice. Like,
Yeah.
regardless.
He's the best, and it's a name that keeps coming up over and over and over on the podcast. Like everybody I talk to, they're like, "Yeah, we did it with Jordan," and and he's giving everyone professional sounding records, and putting Louisville on the map, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So yeah, we've got three tracks recorded. We're gonna do an EP.
We're going to do 3 more.
Three more, and then hopefully release it sometime in the fall. And then we've got Dead Fest coming up July 30th.
It's gonna be July 30th.
July
guys.
30th. So we're playing on 30th, 2-day festival. So it's 29th and 30th. We'll have some new merch.
What day are you playing on Dead Fest?
We're doing the 30th.
Sunday.
30th.
It's
Okay, Sunday.
Yeah. We play at like 5, I think.
Something
5 o'clock.
around 5 o'clock.
That's a busy weekend for me, and I'm gonna definitely
too.
be there.
Appreciate
Me
you,
too.
brother.
Joe, are you gonna be my date to John Brayboy's wedding?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm going. I might have my own date. I don't know yet.
Loser.
I'll be there.
But you could come with us.
I'll be
Loser.
there. I already have a date.
You can be
but I'll
TV
there.
plus
I'm going to be
one, man.
doing live coverage of the event for Sean versus Wild
You're like
podcast.
set up in a booth with your headphones on.
Like, all right, here he goes. He approaching the gift table. What is it going to be, guys? Oh, it's a blender. It's a blender, everybody. It's a blender.
Oh, someone didn't mark that off at the registry. Okay,
Oh,
2 blenders.
A second blender, everybody.
Third blender.
Guys, the trifecta. All blenders, all in assorted colors. But yeah, so okay, you got a recording project going on with Jordan Haynes.
Uh-huh.
What's the direction of the new sound? What's the direction of the new record?
Dude,
Kind of all over the place.
it's kind of full butt rock, honestly. So the song we're gonna give you,
Full butt rock,
kinda-
brother.
the song we're giving you tonight,
Pretty Kid Rock, if you ask me.
Dude, kinda.
dude. It's extra. It's like it's full Kid Rock with extra ball with the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
But the song we're giving you today is like probably our closest like transition. Like it's closer to what Eat My Young sounds like versus the other two are really, really just, I hate to say radio rock, but they're more along
Much
that lines.
different.
Yeah. It's still heavy and it's still got riffs in it, but it's very much still focused on or it's instead of still, but it's more focused on like softer verses and bigger choruses and so.
Well, I've always had a theory that with your records, it's important that you go like a 90-degree turn. You don't do a full 180,
Yeah.
but you give somebody that album. You have your first album. You're going to do something where you're going to kind of, I don't know.
You should pivot, you know?
Yeah,
Should
exactly. You're gonna go into new directions, explore. You can't put the same record out twice, and then that will give you the opportunity on your third record to do
Either
something even completely
Keep
different.
going that way or go
mean-
back to what you're doing before.
pivot. You know, like you think of a band that's fully like a fully like done the progression in the right way, in my opinion, would be like Bring Me the Horizon. It's just like if you look from where they started from where they are, it's just like they pivoted almost every record, but they did a slow
You never
pivot.
lost interest and you never noticed it until.
Dude, so can we talk about the ironically talk about this on another podcast, but the Nickelback Stone Sour like beef? Did you see that?
I did see that.
Which is just the most ridiculous thing to me because it's just like one millionaire yelling at the other millionaire about how they became a millionaire wasn't as legitimate. How they became a millionaire.
Was it Nickelback and who?
Nickelback and Corey Taylor from Stone Sour.
Singer from Nickelback,
I know
singer Stone Sour, Slipknot. Like basically, singer from Nickelback was like
you said Stone Sour, and I was like, what? I thought it was Corey Taylor, but then I was like, okay, I forgot about that.
But just being like, we don't write good songs. I'm just like, that dude makes just as much money as you. Like, and he splits it between 9 people.
Yeah.
Like
Well, my thing is like you can yell at him for being like maybe if he was just the singer of Stone Sour, but it's like that dude's also the singer of Slipknot.
Yeah.
And a novelist, like novel, right? Like I'm just like you. Granted, he's doing well in Nickelback. Good for him. Good for him.
You ever heard his cover of Rainbow in the Dark? Corey Taylor.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Chad from
No.
You hear Chad Kroger?
This rainbow.
Dio's just turning in his grave.
Dude, it boggles me.
That's my thing too. Is like, how are you going to get into an argument with Corey Taylor just because I was mentioning this the other day. It's like, what rock bands are going to be like out there? Like, so like for example, we see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we'll see bands, now like that are going in, and Nirvana's going into the went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and all this sort of thing. And I'm just thinking, well, after a few years, who is going to be in this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Not that it's a big thing, but who's going to be the flag bearer for rock and roll or heavy or music?
Well,
and really, it's like all I can think of is for maybe Corey Taylor's going to be like the last one.
Yeah. Dude, and think about this on just like a touring level. So once AC/DC is pretty much gone now. You think AC/DC, Slayer,
AC/DC still plays.
who else still? But
Play
they're
AC/DC.
like basically like everybody's gonna be gone soon. Like the Stones, Metallica, like all these,
Megadeth.
and who's going to take over for these bands?
Right.
Like there's nobody that's that level. Like
Look at the closest is like Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
And
Foo Fighters,
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters, Queens of the
Fighters
Stone
are-
Age, but their act is over 20 years old at this point.
Yeah.
So like
Exactly.
the leaders in rock and roll have been in bands over 20 years. Slipknot's 20 years old.
Exactly. 5 Finger Death Punch is maybe the closest I can think of, and that makes me real sad.
Yeah.
Like I just. No offense to anybody that likes that band at all. It's just like they're the closest you had band that's going to be able to take over the mantle.
Just when I listen to it, I want to take my 5 fingers and death punch myself.
Dude. My biggest issue with that band, honestly, is like not musically. Like it's what people are into. It's what they're into. But they're literally their singer goes home every other tour because he has some sort of addiction, mental breakdown, something like that. And I'm just like, not disrespecting anybody that has those issues, but at the same time, I'm like, if that dude's not able to do it, get somebody else who can do it. Because
there's going to be somebody out there, a ringer, that you could just bring in.
Have you never watched the movie Rockstar? Like Marky Mark is waiting there just to get in the,
he's there with his not wearing red lapels. You're just ready to play. Just ready to stand up and shout.
Ready to go. Ah!
But so like who's going to be the next thing in rock and roll?
There's no big bands that do that, and it's I don't know. It's to me it's going to be interesting how tours and like festivals work, because it's just like, who do you put on as headliners now? Like Skinner. Like Skinner's gonna be gone someday soon. You know what I mean? Like it's just like these old dudes that were still ripping. Like
in every festival you see that headlines, it's like Rob Zombie, Ozzy Osbourne. Like Ozzy Osbourne only has a couple of years left in him for his performance.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's got to be. Yeah. Or like Korn or whatever. I mean, again, their act is over
Korn.
20 years old.
Yep.
But I mean, where do you go from there? What bands from the 2000s are going to be over 20 years old? Over 20 years old?
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, to his point, I can't think of one, like Falling in Reverse is maybe one band that I can think of that might be able to make
It's the only one that I could think of too. It's the only name that came to my head.
With them, it's like they don't, again, like I don't know if they resonate with any older, because it's like you think about people that go to like festivals, like other than kids, you've got like the older guys, like that. It's just like you have to find a band that's going to resonate with them, because those people that are still buying tickets, like the guys who are like, yeah, I don't mind spending however many $100 on a headlining
on a concert experience.
Yeah, for paid $9 beers and stuff like that. Like, so it's like I'm not that guy. I won't do that.
It's weird. Like the biggest bands are just the ones that are like established. Like, and one besides, here's one, Ghost. I think Ghost might be.
Ghost could possibly. The problem with them though is they lost all their anonymity.
Anonymity.
Synonymies.
They lost all their anemones.
And synonymies. But yeah, no, like since all that lawsuit stuff, they've now been unmasked. So it's just one of those things where like, I think they'll still stay around for a little bit, but it's like, I think that was one of the things that made that band so much buzzworthy.
I'm trying so hard to think of another one. And I really
can't. Well, the beauty of Ghost is they can change members at any time and just reclaim their anonymity because they know who the singer is, but he can just hire anybody at any time to play. And then they're back. It's back to being a mystery again.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, when I just saw them, they had a female bass player.
Yeah. Well, there was a rumor for a while too that was Sean from White Zombie. Did you see that? I don't think it was her, but like they were like Sean from White Zombie is possibly playing for Ghost, and I was like, that'd be the coolest thing on the planet.
That would be awesome. Yeah. I did look it up. I did do a little Google research, and apparently it's a gal that looks not much different than Sean from White Zombie. Yeah. Actually, we need to get you on the podcast, Sean, because your name just knock it right out of the park. It's a guaranteed slam dunk, guys. It's a guaranteed slam dunk.
You don't even have to reprint the merch. Like she'd already have
exactly.
It's spelled the same.
But the lady that plays, I can't think of her name, but she was from a Led Zeppelin cover band called Les Zeppelin.
Yeah.
So
okay,
that's her. And they identified her by some ring that she wears and some tattoo that she has on her finger. That's creepy. That's creepy that the internet is that.
Yeah, they're like, it's like basically the internet is essentially Big Brother, but for worthless information. They're like, are you figuring out if people are spying on the U.S.? No, but we figured out this lady's got a finger tattoo, and she used to play for that other band over there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're using.
They're not watching us, guys.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. They are. Getting weird.
So, so there's a current band out right now that like I think they have the showmanship to do it, but they're probably only like 7 to 10 years old. Maybe they're called Wilson, and they're just now like
they're a bunch of 7 to 10 year old kids.
10-year-old kids, man. No, as a band, they've only been around I think like 7 to 10 years or so, maybe a little bit longer. But it's just like they recently came to town with Steel Panther. They were just in town a few months ago with Breaking Benjamin, and it's like as a band, it's like you could tell that they're meant to be on a big stage, like they're meant to do that, and like so it's like my hope is that band will get to that level, but in this, it's in my opinion 1,000 times harder for any lower level band to get to that point this day and age. So
I agree. Well, there is one band that I'm hoping will get to that level, and that band is Foxbat. And right now we are going to play for all of you listeners out there this hot brand spanking new Foxbat ditty. Doesn't even have a name. That's how new it is. It has just been born, guys. So we're going to play it untitled by Foxbat. Clay, what's it all about? Tell me what it's all about. Give me the lead up. I'm going to tee you off. You just ultimately slam dunk it.
Oh, man. This song's just about how every white dude who can't keep his mouth shut. That's the best way I can describe it. Me included sometimes.
Sweet chip music.
And if you're a white guy that can't keep his mouth shut, I suggest get a podcast. It worked out for me pretty well. All right, guys. This is the untitled track off that brand new Foxbat.
Boy, if you wanna step
All right, everybody, that was Foxbat taking you to Toontown with that brand new track. That's a Clay Nevels right there, taking you to Toontown.
Straight up, dude.
USA.
They call me Roger Rabbit, dude.
That song is awesome, though. It's still got that heavy elements, but it rocks.
It's gold, dude.
Rocky.
And that bridge is pretty brutal, if you ask me, bro.
Oh yeah,
Sick
always
bridge,
riding
dude.
brutal bridges, bro.
What's the inspirado for
The
you?
inspirato behind the music part of it is just fucking big old bridges.
You're getting too big for your bridges.
Louisville showed up, man, was like, hey, man, we need to build some
Yeah,
bridges
it's
in
like,
this
dude,
place.
they built all these big ass bridges. So
we
he's
were
like,
like,
man,
hey,
we'll
dude,
fucking follow
big
shit.
40,
Fucking write some big bridges.
How about Big Five, man? That's what we did, dude.
Dude, that's what we did, man. I'm going to start tolling these bridges,
Hey man,
man.
you like Jeff Bridges, dude? I can see all four of them from my house.
But yeah, that is a rockin' tune produced by old Jordan Haynes.
Dirty.
You've done it again, bro.
Yeah, I like the drums on that. They sound ultra natch.
Yes, super natch, ultra natch.
Ultra natch.
Robbie's he's the best.
He rocks.
Best in the business.
He rips it.
But what I like about Foxbat, though, is you guys are heavy. You guys have like a very, I don't know, if I were to sell you a little short and just say a very Every Time I Die type of vibe.
Dude, I'll take the comparison. It's like, they're a band that's 20 years in.
Right.
They're
That's
still
one of those
ripping it.
bands,
That
man.
might be one of those bands. That's
Yeah.
true. But also, too, like a lot of Louisville bands, it's almost like one of those things where you definitely get the Emmanuel
Yeah,
influence.
I'll take it.
The
So
choruses.
everything has a groove. Everything has just a really well, I don't know. Yeah, the choruses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They rock.
It's the formula too. The verse, chorus, bridge, chorus.
Hey,
It's
man,
the method to the
which-
madness.
time tested true.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong. I mean, that's how I write most of my songs. So.
Hey, if it worked for the Beatles, good
Right.
enough for me, I say.
Yeah.
Not that I'm writing anything, but
But that's the only thing when people are like, "Oh, yeah, it sounds real." Every time I die, I'm like, "Every time I die, yeah, it does for sure." But as a structural,
Yeah.
thing, it really does.
I think they've written
Right.
maybe 2 songs that have like close to a structure in it.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, I love Every Time I die.
See,
don't
they
know.
go din 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 din.
Yeah, we go
and
ding 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 ding.
see, it goes ding, 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 ding. That little change is not the same.
yeah.
Speaking of that, I watched Cool as Ice lately. Have you seen that movie?
I've
No.
never seen that movie.
Bro, that's a movie we really should have put on here to do this podcast to. Because if you ever want to watch just a stone cold classic, look no further than Cool as
Who
Ice.
else is in it?
The dad from Family Ties.
Okay.
One of the kids from The Sandlot. That is
Which kid?
Timmy or Tommy Timmons. I can't remember which. The one that's like, I blame myself. That kid. And then, other than that, there's a cameo from Bobby Brown, that chick from the Cherry Pie video.
Okay.
And then there's a cameo from, what is Naomi Campbell? She does a cameo in it. You're welcome. Guys, this is not...
Can we do the rest
awesome.
of this podcast just dissecting that movie that we've never seen, but you've seen it, and then we'll tell you what we think.
Let me just hit you up with the best scenario ever. So Vanilla Ice, his name is Johnny Ice or something, I don't know, in this movie. So he's a rapper, him and his posse going from town to town on their bikes. They have like crotch rockets or whatever.
Okay, I was hoping you were talking about actual bicycles.
I wish. Like it was Pee-wee's Big Adventure Part 2. And then, one of their bikes breaks down and Vanilla finds a woman across the street from where they're getting their bikes fixed. And romance ensues.
Isn't this pretty much the same plot line to Purple Rain? I could be wrong, but like...
I would say there's definitely probably a Purple Rain influence. And the best line in the whole thing, I mean, there's so many tight lines in it, but there's a line whenever the girl's boyfriend is like gonna be like, hey, who's this Johnny Ice, macking on my woman. So him and his group of flunkies take a baseball bat to some of the motorcycles outside.
What?
And the guy goes, how do you like what we did to your bike? And Vanilla goes, that's not my bike. That's Sir D's. And the guy goes, who's Sir D? And Vanilla goes, my homeboy. So needless to say, yeah, it just kind of fell under the Oscar radar. I don't know how it's a hidden gem.
So basically it's based on his life, similar to how 8 Mile was based
I would
on
like to think it's the original 8 Mile, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would like to think that this is just a documentary.
So
A day in the life of Vanilla Ice. Yeah. Only the names have been changed to protect the guilty and the innocent. So yeah.
That really threw me for a loop.
Yeah, dude, this Cool as Ice thing is just really, harsh in my Conans.
Yeah.
So
Harsh in the nans, dude.
Well, let's get back to business. So Foxbat got that new record coming out. When do you think you're going to be releasing some stuff? Any idea?
I don't know. We want to do
Tuesday
another
on the 25th. We're going to be releasing this hot new track.
I mean, technically, when people are hearing it, it's going to be on Tuesday. You know what I mean? So
That's what I said. Tuesday 25th.
But I'm saying, you're like on the Tuesday 25th. We're going to be listening to this on Tuesday and 25th. So it's like
today.
Yeah, today. So today they're listening to it. You know what I mean? So we're releasing it.
Way to break the
today.
illusion, guys.
Man,
Podcasts aren't live, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know when we're going to release it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we want to. The problem is like
we got to do 3 more.
We got to do 3 more. We shot 2 pretty cool music videos for the last record, and it's like we'd like to kind of keep that motif, but we're also real poor. So, and all the people that hooked us up with the music videos, they're now a lot more expensive, as they should be, because they're awesome.
Yeah,
and they've since
they've progressed, and so has their budget.
Yeah, they've the video they did with us obviously pushed them into stardom.
Right, that's true.
So because of that, we're debating on how we want to do that, but. I mean, ultimately, we'd like to do a few more music videos and play some more out-town shows. So,
gotcha.
That whole deal.
Well, you guys have been busy since the last time I talked to you. So, I recorded the very first podcast back in November, but didn't release it until January. I think I recorded it right after Thanksgiving. We were just filled to the brim with our turkey dinners.
Yep, I was all nappy naps.
And then I recorded yours right in the second week of January. So it's been about 6 months plus since really I got the deets on on what's been going on. What have you guys been? What did you guys do in that time frame? Because I know you've been playing some shows. I know you've been doing some out of town dates.
We did another run down south, which was so it's like we have no.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, it's like I have no disillusion.
It's wild terrain.
Man, we went out, we played to all these kids. That last run of shows
sold
we did,
out.
literally played to nobody in Augusta, Georgia, which was awesome.
Well, the first time we played was 68.
And it was like a packed show, so it was great. So we came back. We're like, oh, it's only a few months later. Maybe some of the kids will come out. Nah, they didn't come out. So, which is fine. And then we played in Murfreesboro, and it was there was a couple kids, but the thing is, man, and you know this better than anybody else. It's all about your hustle. So
yeah, absolutely.
We came back,
positive.
Without bragging, we came back in the positive because we know how to we sold merch to the local bands and
perfect.
Did what we did. So it was still success. It was still fun. So found better sleeping arrangements in the van, sort of, which was nice.
No, we didn't.
So.
I'll be sleeping on top of the van.
I slept on top of the drum case.
Perfect.
So, as the person who sleeps under all the seats, like I literally cram like vertical under all the seats.
That didn't seem that bad.
Debatably the worst spot to sleep.
I don't know, man.
Certain death if the vehicle was moving.
Well, we weren't moving. So.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So it's like with the drum case thing, I'm just like,
Man.
wait, didn't you have the merch table laid down?
No, I just was on the drum case.
I should lay down
I think the merch table
dude.
stabbed me in the spine.
Oh, okay.
Do yourself a favor and just buy some cots.
Wait, no, the drum case is a big long case.
Yeah.
It's about
perfect.
big as that coffee table.
And you're about as big as the coffee table
Yes,
as well.
you're
So
twice-
it works
yeah,
out.
No.
You're half the size of the coffee
It's a
table.
Joe-sized case.
It's your old case.
It's my
your
old case.
drum case. You know how big that
About
was.
That
Yeah.
wide.
It's-
So it's about
it-
maybe 5 feet.
Dude,
long.
you
It's
could
the same-
totally lay on that
I mean, I'm
comfortably.
not saying you
Comfortably.
can't lay on it, but
Sorry it wasn't a
comfortably.
5-star resort.
Hey man, I was
Brock.
trying to get a hotel.
That mini bar was empty, man. They ate all my planter's peanuts, man.
Oh, my peanuts
That's
are gone,
nice
dude.
though, sleeping in the Walmart parking lot because you can just go in there and brush your teeth, and go to the bathroom, and walk around and eat food and then leave.
Yeah. And then
It's
just
just
fucking
like a
cheese.
See you later.
See, that's why the podcast is called Sean versus Wild. Sean versus Wild was a hashtag that I used for years
Out on the road.
tour,
Yeah,
out on the
I remember
road.
that.
Did you
Because
remember? Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but this I have to bring this up before I forget. I was with you guys, and we were in a Walmart parking lot somewhere, and I had some drinks, and I went in there, and I just grabbed a fucking rotisserie chicken, and it was like old, like it had been sitting out forever. And I just walked around the store and ate it and just set it back where I got it and came back. Do you remember that?
I think I do remember that. And that's just one of the examples of why it's wild. Because you really are just out there in the wilderness, even though you're in a van.
This is why we can't go into Walmarts anymore because Joe keeps going and eating all the rotisserie
Give me
chickens.
your oldest chicken.
I don't know what the hell was wrong. I was like, man, I could have grabbed anything. I grabbed like the oldest rotisserie chicken. That
You have
they had
anything fresh? Well, fuck that. Give me the oldest one you got. I was telling a story on the podcast the other day about, well, you weren't there though, Joe, at this point, but when we recorded the first album, and for those of you listening that listened to last week's podcast, it's just going to be a rehash of the story. How fun is that for you listeners out there? But when we recorded the first album in New York, we kept going to this same like gas station. It's like the only thing around. So when you're bored, you just go there and whatever. And then at the end of the night, one night when we were finishing up, this guy just must have thought we were vagrants or something. And he was like, oh, well, here you go, guys. And he gave us a trash bag filled to the brim with bagels.
I edited the podcast earlier today before I got here, and you guys talked about that.
Yeah.
And like, I just skipped to a random part to like check levels, and it was like, and we got a trash bag full of bagels. I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, that's the life of,
Listen to-
and I've said it before, and a lot of people on this podcast say it. It's one of those things. It really is the wild because only as a musician, nomadically touring the world or the country or wherever you're touring, those are the only times that things like this happen to you. Like people randomly make the worst decisions and they end up just working out really well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you'll hear something like, yeah, I just randomly got into the car with this dude, told him about my band, and it turned out he was the producer of such and such album. Now we're making $1 million. And you're like, yeah, that's how band life works.
Yeah,
But it's like, but
that's
then,
it.
so it's like that story randomly happens every now and then. But then for your side of the story, it's like, these guys just gave me a trash bag full of bagels. Still a great story.
Yeah.
Still.
So what are you doing?
Totally like a good luck thing to happen.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
on different sides of the
Did you
scale.
guys eat the bagels?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
well, there you go.
They're just throwing them out, bro.
Yeah.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. I
Man's
always
trash is another man's breakfast for 2 weeks.
and boy, what a breakfasty treasure that was. Yeah. But what's the best tour story so far, guys?
Tour story? Oh my god, there's so many, man. If you watch Redneck Hope video, like the windshield thing that we talk about, was a real thing that actually took place, and it was stupid. We're just you know, you're in there for so long and you just start talking about the stupidest shit that you can ever imagine. We saw some crop circles,
Fair enough.
which was just like a horse track.
Matter of fact, I think it was a horse racing track,
Yeah,
but it was definitely
but you know, we didn't know at that time because we were all
it's definitely a circle
hallucinating.
in the agriculture, if you ask me.
Oh man, there's been. I mean, nothing super crazy. We've gone out a couple times.
Yet.
Yeah. But
We played a house show in Bloomington, Indiana, and it was funny because it was us and like two art rock bands, like just full on like.
Oh god.
I don't want to say the word hipster is like a derogatory term towards people, but it was
No, they
like,
weren't bad at all.
yeah, they were great bands, but it was one of those things where it was like the people who were there to see those bands were like, hey, we create art and we listen to.
I think they were expecting something maybe a little different.
Yeah, like we listened to like
Maybe.
more indie art rock stuff,
Right.
which is rad. But then we got up and just like we played in between the two bands and just cleared the house.
It was unbelievably
It was
loud.
like, yeah, there was a good crowd there, and then we took care of that.
Yeah.
We took care of it pretty damn quick.
Yeah. But nobody's having a good time here, okay?
Yeah,
You
look,
guys-
we're gonna
yeah.
put the kibosh on this. pretty
Parading
darn
on
quick.
everybody's parade. It was
Stick a
Sunday.
pin in
We're
it.
like, hey guys, we're in a concrete room.
It's like
We're
they
just
couldn't
gonna go
even
and turn
pretend to
up
enjoy
11.
it because we live in Indiana and they don't sell alcohol on Sundays in Indiana. And this
Yeah.
is in Bloomington, my college town.
Oh, yeah.
And there was not a fucking beer in sight.
You know, interestingly enough, we used to play in Bloomington when I was in Suburban Blood Drive, and even then in 2004, the bands that we played with were like art college rock
yeah.
bands. So like we would play and like no one would give a shit, and you'd be like, oh great, I'm glad I came.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
So I didn't think about this. The last band I think it was the last band that played. It was Pleasures of the Flesh, who used to be the Foxery. They played.
Yeah.
It was their last show as the Foxery. Now, granted, it's just like it's funny with them is they're kind of still like within that genre of like art rock in my
Right.
opinion, but they're also the loudest band on the planet. Like
Right.
they just they have 1,300 speakers. So
They
it was
still
like
have some rock.
yeah,
in the
for
art
sure.
rock.
But it was like we cleared out the room because we were just loud, and then like they got up and because they are loud, but they still fit within that vein. It was like people I think were still interested to it, but it's like from my standpoint, I was like, hey, they're loud too. Like,
Guys, you're just too darn loud.
Yeah.
You just had a Back to the Future moment.
Huey the Lewis came. Huey
Yes,
Lewis,
exactly like
Huey
that.
and the Lewis.
Huey and
versus
the Lewises.
Huey and the Lewises came in and was just like after I was playing his song "Power of Love," and
We're the
told me to turn
pinheads.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys are just too darn loud. Let me ask you this too, because you played with 68. You said, didn't you guys play with 68 at Trixie's?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you not familiar with the area, Trixie's is a venue sometimes and a gentleman's club all the time.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Trixie's as a venue? And I will share my thoughts as we've also played there.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's in my, right now, probably top 3 favorite venues in Louisville.
Dude.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's
100%.
Well, so and I don't want to divulge. I talked to one of the guys who runs the place, and I got the impression that it's going to be going more towards the way of the venue,
Sure.
Without giving away too much because I don't know how they plan on talking about that or releasing that. But it's like as a venue, it's amazing.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Yeah, it's a
sound
great
is great.
venue.
It's replaces what the new vintage kind of was. Plus, it's a little bit bigger, and
Yeah.
like the bummer is the location because it's kind of South Louisville, and it's people don't want to go there because it's Trixie's, and they're like, oh, it's a strip club, and it's just like, well,
It's
yeah,
really
sort
not.
of. It's
though.
not.
I mean,
It has a
is
stigma,
technically,
obviously.
but like
Yeah.
really, like they don't bother you, you don't bother them. You know what I mean? Like it's
For
two
me,
separate sides.
It's 100%. It's a win-win scenario
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the stage is great, the sound is great on stage, the sound is great outside.
Yep.
The venue is loud.
Yeah.
The PA is loud.
the mix is
And
good. Yeah,
there are scantily clad
women,
females there. And when I'm there, there's a scantily clad man there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like it's to me like
It's a win-win, dude.
it's
Yeah.
like I said, people won't go there because of the name, and it's like if they change the name to it, like people would totally come out to that because it's a great. Plus, they're getting all the shows now. Like that's
Yeah.
where they're like.
Well, Terry, like he doesn't want to book a band at, you know, it's
Mercury or
headliners
whatever,
is outrageous.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't
what
even
mean?
know what-
And Diamonds is kind of, to be honest, in my opinion, like fucking whatever. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean,
Whatever.
It's not like
Fucking whatever,
It's just
man.
so big and like it's just. I
It's a
don't
big
know.
room to fill.
Yeah, it just
it's a
doesn't-
lot. And the thing is if you don't fill a big room, it looks very empty.
Like
That
Yeah.
and like it's to me honestly like when you play a big ass venue like that and there's only 100 people in it, it doesn't sound as good. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like it sounds better when there's a million people in there.
Right,
I don't know.
Well, it's
obviously.
like a smaller room that's filled with more people is going to typically sound a little bit better.
And it's going to be higher energy.
yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
dude, Art Sanctuary where they're doing Dead Fest now is one of the coolest new venues.
I cannot wait to go.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Better
It's
than what
like-
Faulkner's was for last year, in my opinion. Like, we played there with Norma Jean, and it wasn't packed, but it was still a good amount of people, and the sound there was pretty
I think
decent.
this place probably holds like, I don't even know, like at least 1,000 people.
Yeah, I think I was
It's
talking
huge.
to Brent Mills from Greyhaven, and he
Yeah.
was like, it was probably an airplane hangar or something.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you could
gigantic.
definitely put an airplane in there.
You could.
Well, dude, and they have working AC.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was what was
that
crazy.
rocks.
Yeah, like exactly. Like we played there, and it was breezy. It was good. It was very chilly. Like,
It was
in the best
easy,
way.
breezy,
and it's
beautiful.
a massive room, so it's like
Art sanctuary.
wasn't expecting that. So that's pretty tight.
Well, I'm definitely going to be checking you guys out at Dead Fest. I'm going to go. I'm going to try to go both days. It's a busy weekend, but we're going to make it
gonna be a
happen.
busy-
Dude, we're playing the same day as Greyhaven too, which would be tight.
That is cool. And Quick
Fantastic.
Runner. We're playing this in as Quick
Oh
Runner
yeah,
too. Yeah.
tight. Dude,
That'll be a good one.
every time you do a podcast with somebody that's like one of my bros, like, and you inevitably mention that, like, oh, Clay's down the road. I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I want to go down there right now. That's not going on right now.
It's not going on right now. It went on
that's
last week.
podcast, I was like, yeah.
From now on, I'm just going to send you a text.
Dude, do you want me to just do pop ins?
Just pop
you
in on a
should,
Saturday.
yeah.
It'll
It
sound
should.
like I'm coming in. I'm like, starts coming in the road, and then I'll like grab a mic and
Perfect.
like,
Perfect for me. Oh, and by the way, guys, there's a lot of people beating down my door to ask you guys some questions on the show.
Uh-oh.
So I posted it. What's so great about Facebook and just, how people are, it was like, hey, submit your questions. If you like Foxbat, submit your questions below.
And everyone's like, nobody likes Fox.
And all these people just liked the status.
a bunch of dicks.
So everyone but a lot of people like you guys. So a lot of people like the status anyway. Here's a question. Does Joe really have solid gold legs?
No comment.
no, he does have a silver penis.
Silver. Yeah. Yes, my legs are solid gold.
Someone wants to know, is Foxbat down to play a basement show at their house? Venue cap 10 to 15.
That's
Sold,
too many.
dude. Yeah, that's too big of a show. Send it to our manager.
It's a 5 to 8. Yeah.
We're not like Radiohead or anything. Dude.
Right.
We're-
Wouldn't that be perfect? Wouldn't you love to just see Radiohead in front of less than 10 people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. Anyway, when are you coming to play the Levy Bar and Grill?
Oh, is that who said that? Was that Regina?
You know it was.
Oh, she is always looking for some Foxbat open the Levy.
Up at the Levy. What a great place, dude. I love the Levy.
Whenever you want us, Regina, we'll play whenever.
Regina, you heard it. You heard it first. Yeah, guys. But a lot of people like the status, so a lot of people seem to like you guys.
People like that other people ask us questions. They
They
just
love
don't
it.
have any questions.
They're
Maybe
super
they're
into
scared. Who knows, man?
Well,
Maybe
I mean,
they're
with a
shy.
name like Foxbat, people did want to know what is the significance of the name, because
You ever played Trials? That's all you need to know, man.
that's true. Is that a bike?
yeah.
Fair
On the
enough.
bikes.
Some people think it's an airplane. A lot of
Right,
people are
so
like, is
it
that
is
an airplane,
It
dude?
is technically an airplane.
I was obsessed with that video game for like a year. And then...
I remember playing Trials before it was Trials HD.
Oh, yeah,
Like
dude.
on regular, I think.
Well, they got Trials Revolution, Trials HD.
I remember playing
guess
it
that's how
circa
went.
2005
Oh, yeah.
at Critty and Cousin Ryan's
Yeah.
apartment.
We've had some heated competitions.
Dude, it's impossible to get up that hill, man.
What hill?
That-
All of them?
No, the
What
one,
hill?
The one that's just the hill, whatever it is.
Oh, the climb?
The climb, dude.
Miley Cyrus is the climb, bro.
Dude.
Yeah, I heard that it's not about the mountain; it's about the climb.
Right. Yeah.
Is that true,
No.
Hey, man,
In your
I-
experience?
you just came into this conversation like a wrecking ball, brother. I don't even know that.
brother? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. All right, guys. Well, as we're winding down here, we're in the seventh inning stretch right now. Tell everybody where and when and how they can see Foxbat, what to expect in the future, and where they can check out the merch and where they can check out the music.
So
Dead Fest,
Dead
July
Fest coming
28th.
up. Yeah,
9th and 30th.
30th. July 30th.
We play
29th and
30th Sunday.
We play the 30th Sunday at 5. You can hit us up on Facebook.
Where's the merch store? I don't know anything about the
Big
merch.
Cartel. Just search Foxbat Big Cartel or Foxbat.Big Cartel. Pull it up. It needs to be updated, so don't order anything of it right now.
So whatever you do, just
message us.
just email Clay.
Yeah, just that. We're getting ready. We're getting ready to do some new shirts actually too.
Oh, yeah, we
There's
are.
a certain Batman logo that someone made for us. That's apparently
Fantastic.
being
Yeah,
printed.
we're
so
getting some shades.
and then if I get my screen printing stuff set up.
I mean, you name it, we got it.
We're gonna do some. Well, but basically, I just wanted to just start screen printing our stuff on random things and be like, "Oh, look, here's a record player. I got the Foxbat record player." They go like just I
Old
don't
pizza
know.
boxes.
Yeah.
Just get a sticker and put it on the record player. Be like, it's a Foxbat record player.
Yeah. I mean, that's like we're trying to go outside the box when it comes to merch stuff. So we're probably gonna do a lot of hodgepodge stuff that where it's super limited run and be like, hey,
Men's
look, here's a bunch of
panties.
patches or. Yeah, we're talking about doing some dude wear, some dude underwear. Just some
Undergarments. It's all about the
whitey-tidies.
ladies these days, and everybody's like, "Oh, we should get some underwear for the bitches." I'm like, "Dude, what about the dogs?"
What about the dogs? Well, that's the thing, man. No, it's
I mean, I wear underwear too. You know what I mean?
you know what I'm saying?
walk
Sometimes
around
I just want a
fucking free ball.
Foxbat boxer brief.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something that's supportive but classy.
A Foxer brief.
Like,
Oh.
Yes. There you go.
See what I just done there?
Yeah, this
See
is
what you did
fantastic.
there, dude.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Well, fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody's going to check you out at Deadfest. You got to go July 29th and 30th, Art Sanctuary, Foxbat, Grey Haven, Quick Runner,
Quick
Summer
Runner,
Youth,
Summer
so many
Youth,
people
or
that...
Every local band.
Yeah,
pretty
so
much.
many people that have been on this podcast and a lot of people that need to be on this podcast.
Yep.
So if you're on Deadfest and you're like, hey, dude, why am I not on the podcast? Well, you better hit me up because that's what's going to happen. I'll be there screen printing some flannel pajamas with Clay.
Don't threaten me a good time, man.
I think a Foxbat nightshirt would be fantastic for men.
For men.
Ooh, like a
yeah.
really long one.
Yeah, perfect.
robes.
Okay,
Robes.
I'm getting down with that.
You should get a
Like
night
fancy,
shirt.
like
I
a
mean, if you
leopard
ain't never
robe.
wore a robe, I mean,
A Foxbat
I've
night-
never honestly,
nightcap.
I've never worn a night shirt like the old Abbott and Costello style ones. And
Yeah.
that sounds really appealing.
A
right now.
Foxbat nightshirt, a Foxbat nightcap, and a Foxbat saucer with a candle on it.
Just looking for Frankenstein.
yeah, dude.
Foxbat secret passageway to be
Oh
on a
my God.
bookshelf.
The Foxbat saucer and candle bundle.
That's a fantastic idea.
You guys are going to love that. All right, guys. And I tell you what, that's been it for us. Thank you, Clay. Thank you, Joe, for being back
yep.
here. It's been too long. And Joe, also want to give a special thanks for helping me for all. This is episode 31. So for all 31
Episode
episodes,
31.
making me sound super natch, bro.
Oh yeah.
Got to
always.
give you a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey,
got-
if you need a theme song, man, shoot me a message.
Joe's been currently doing theme songs and just killing it in the podcast theme song games. So.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Joe, I know you've been contracted out to do a few. So, guys, if you have a podcast or you need a jingle or something, you need something that with a shredding guitar riff,
That's got the gift of jingle sometimes. It's
you got to hit up Joe Brock.
I've been putting myself out as looking for radio talk show host sidekicks. You know, like if you've always looking for like Dan in the Scream or something like that. And
Oh,
the guy
perfect.
comes in
Dingo
with-
and the
he
baby.
just screams in the background. Like that's
You can be my Robin. The
Yeah,
Robin to my
Robin.
Howard Stern.
okay.
Just get him a little MIDI keyboard and hook it. You know, put some samples in there, and whenever you say something funny, fucking ding.
It's gonna be the fart noise every time,
Every time.
every single time.
You can be. What's the guy that's not Bob or Tom that's on the Bob and Tom show?
Jeff,
Basically. He's the guy that does all the sound effects. That could be you.
dude, I'm down. To
I could
that
be
guy.
you one day, Clay.
Just practice really hard
If
and
only.
be like, what is that guy's name? Michael Winslow from Police Academy. And do
Still sound effects,
yes, just do all the
but
sound
just do
effects
them
with your
really
mouth.
terribly.
We're
We're like, this is a car. Rrr, 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 rrr.
working on it, guys.
Bang.
Is there anyone still left listening to this podcast?
No,
That's
probably
what,
not. Oh, God.
we better just cut it off here before it gets too off the deep end, guys.
We love you.
Love it, buddy.
Well, hey, I love you too. And this is way to throw me off when I'm trying to give my big outro. Guys, this has been the Sean vs. Wild podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like what you hear, it's on iTunes. It's on your podcast app. It's on any one of those podcast apps. It's on Stitcher. It's on YouTube. You can literally stream it right on Facebook. You can find it posting links on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you social media. This podcast is going to be there, so enjoy it. And if you like it, tell your friend, like, share, and subscribe. And if you like Foxbat, you want to check out foxbat.bigcartel.com and pick up some sick merch. You want to check out them at Deadfest. And message Clay if you want some screen printed nightshirts and salsa and candle
tidy
bundles.
whities.
Make it happen, man.
We're going to make it happen. All right, guys, this has been the Sean vs. Wild podcast.